Hello, and welcome to the Mead Hall for today's episode of The War Table. I am your host, Jay, and with me today I have...
Elle,
John,
and Eliza.
Thank you for joining me, everybody. So, in today's War Table, we are going to see House Dracaryn take to the field against the Night Lords, led by none other than Konrad Curze himself. Following the events of our last engagement, the Night Lords attempt to outflank the Chaos Warhost, only to find themselves face to face with a wall of Dracaryn war engines waiting in the desert. What follows is less a battle for territory, and more a battle for dominance, as Knights and Astartes collide in a series of devastating engagements. Let's dive into the action. They think this is victory. They always do. The city burns behind us, choking on its own ruin. They begin to cling to it as if it matters. It does not. The war is not won here. It is won in the spaces between, where no one is watching. I will drive them from this world. We will move at once. No delay, no hesitation. I take them wide, beyond the ruins, beyond the reach of the Chaos Warhost, across the desert, the long way, the unseen way. My warriors do not question it. They know what comes next. We will strike from the flank. We will break them. The sands shift beneath us as we advance. No resistance, no scouts, no warning fire. Nothing. This is wrong. The desert should not be this still. We crest the ridge, and there they stand. Not scattered, not retreating, waiting. A line of war engines, towering and unmoving, their weapons already turning to meet us. Not servants of chaos, not broken remnants of the Imperium. Something else. Knights. They do not run. They do not fear. Irritating. They stand in my path, and that is all they are. An obstacle to be removed. Before the first shots are fired, the battlefield is already in motion. Under the cover of darkness and the shifting sands, the Night Lords make their move, armoured elements pushing forward ahead of the main advance, seeking ground before the Knights can react. It is bold play, one designed to seize the initiative before the battle truly begins. But House Dracaryn does not answer with haste. Their engines hold position, silent, disciplined, and unmoving as targeting solutions are drawn and firing lines established. One side seeks to gain ground, the other is already prepared to take it back. So, Night Lord's deployment then, Els?
I think I put all my eggs in one basket. The whole, the clump of the tanks rolling up, I put it down and I was like, yeah, that'll probably be fine. It wasn't fine. I don't think, as you will see. Yeah, I basically just did that thing where you think too much, and then because you thought too much about it, you make mistakes. So
I feel like at this stage it's going to become a me special, given the amount that I'm just slap it all at the front, and then let's deal with it later.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When you say all your eggs in one basket, which basket are we talking about here? What basket is all the eggs in?
I was going to say, it's definitely 3 baskets.
I don't know. It's in the stupid basket. I mean, that clump of tanks, which is that corner is yeah. It's not good.
Is that Vindicators I see up there?
No, maybe. Shut up.
Is that a unit of 8 Vindicators?
Things were not learnt in that regard. Let's have a look at the opposing side. So we've got House Dracaryn helmed by Eliza, my own personal little army here.
So my thoughts with deployment for this is pretty much I was sort of matching how you were deploying Al and just trying to make sure I had an answer for everything to put down in the right place, as well as some stuff on the back line that I was willing to keep there, ready for if you were to drop things down. Because I know you had some reserves.
We do get a lovely showcase here of how a knight army can work as its own
I was
army.
about to say, I'm very excited to see an all-knight army. Well, almost all-knight. I see those cheeky little warhounds in there.
A couple of Titans there.
I got to have a cheeky titan or two.
I mean, what I love in particular in that left hand that's like in the left hand shot over there is the Acastus just being like, yep, I'm as big as a warhound.
Yeah, in lore they are often mistaken as titans.
I can see why.
Yeah, we do have some pre-moves that took place during this game. We had a bit of a discussion on pre-moves last time we were here, so be interested to see how it goes this time. Because you kind of did exactly the same, thundering up the table. Question is, was it a trap or was it clever?
You had a carefully thought out plan, didn't you? Didn't you, El? You had this careful strategy.
Yeah. Just I think. Well, no. I think the strategy was don't die, and
I mean, I suppose that's better than nothing.
That is a strategy.
I promise you, when it came to the Land Raiders, I had a plan, and then Eliza took that plan and went, no thanks, bye bye.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that plan goes perfectly with zero flaws.
I think for deployments wise, the middle one is the one that ended up contesting that objective sort of in the forest. That was a good move because that did immediately force me to be quite aggressive on that side.
Shall we perhaps go and take a look at how some of this plays out? Let's have a look at let's look at how the battle plays out, and we'll review as we go. The Night Lords advance, but the Knights strike first. Precise, overwhelming firepower tears into the forward elements, halting the attack before it can properly begin. From the opening exchange, House Dracaryn dictates the battle. Here we go then. We're going to zoom into some flashpoints across the battlefield. Let's see what happens.
The Scout Titan Pirate of Judgment thunders forward, its stride shaking the battlefield as its turbo laser lances out. 2 Vindicators are caught mid-advance, their hulls sheared apart in an instant, wreckage shattering across the sand. Its wild movement throws off the Vulcan Megabolter, the weapon churning uselessly into the dust.
Those Vindicators.
Oh, those Vindicators.
I've heard stories of the Vindicators, I wanted them gone.
Not taking any chances. In fairness, though, I don't believe the Vulcan Megabolt was fired at the Vindicators, because I don't think you were in range, but...
No, I don't think they did. I think they had a different target.
Either way, they didn't hurt.
No, but you did manage to land both your turbo laser shots and kill 2 Vindicators, so you can't argue with that.
I mean, I feel like you know, when the turbo lasers strike anything, it's usually a bad time.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving on.
Night Lords answer without hesitation. Predator tanks hammering into the tree line as a lance of armatures crashes through the canopy. Their shots strike true, tearing into one of the advancing engines and sending it crashing down in a plume of sand and twisted metal.
These armatures in this tree line and me go through some stuff together. Trying to pick them off becomes a challenge, and this first one, I thought it was the start of something great. It was the start of something. There you go. That's my statement.
Predators with those the accurate las cannons on the top, just every time.
I mean, you fired 3 las cannons and you took out a knight. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
They were in cover as well.
That tree line continues to suffer, though.
Oh, it suffers a lot worse, don't worry.
And it is the exact same Terrain
It is,
piece.
yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it is the specific. I think it is the specific terrain piece
It
as
is,
well.
yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Moving on to the next section then.
Slow but implacable, the Acastus Knight locks on to a formation of Sakaran battle tanks racing across the flank. Its Magna las cannons fire in perfect unison. Beams of searing energy cut through armor and ammunition alike. The entire squad reduced to burning wrecks in seconds.
Now, why won't they do that for me?
That was such a fun opening.
And yes,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to fire them, Jamie. We know this. You can fire them, but they're not allowed to ever hit anything ever.
The last time I took these out, they literally did nothing all game.
They cost you a lot of points and did absolutely nothing.
I like to bring them once, and in the first round, takes out the entire unit.
How many shots do they get?
It's two shots per gun, so 4 shots with accurate.
Okay, so I mean, but even so, so every shot hit and every shot blew up.
Yeah.
I mean,
A Sakaran.
in fairness, I think they're -3 base, so each of those
Okay.
guys was saving on a 6. And that's even
Yeah.
before you account for the las cannons and the Helios missiles.
Okay, yeah, so everything went into them and they had a terrible time.
Yeah, although was it just the las cannons that killed him? I can't remember.
I think it was just the last.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah,
Which Sakaran variants were those, by the way?
I believe those are they're the autocannons.
My good ones.
I was just assuming it was the curse of the plasma Sakarans coming back again.
Don't worry,
No.
that curse does come back. Next point.
Further north, Baron Kalor Varn directs the Castorus line with cold precision. Battle cannons roar, their shells slamming into the advancing Vindicators, detonating armor and shattering the Night Lord's spearhead before it could fully form.
More Vindicators go bye-bye.
I have no words, John. There is nothing I can say to make this better for you or myself.
I have one word to say. Should have taken those Vindicators in 4s. That's several
I know.
words, but just the number 4 was all I wanted to really highlight here. Oh, those Vindicators! One day they'll get to fire a single shot.
Ah, but will
Well,
they?
You just wait.
I don't know. I'm
just-
enjoying the reveal as much as everyone else here.
Yes, of the entire team, John is the only one who hasn't witnessed any of this game.
Yeah.
As of yet.
I'm coming fresh to it. I'm enjoying all the revelations.
Okay, right. Well, speaking of revelations, let's have a look at the board state at the end of the round. There we go. We can actually see what the actual table looks like at this point in the game. We've got a consistent move forward from the Night Lords, and a bit more of a cautious move, I would say, from a lot of the Knights.
I'm enjoying the somewhat that is a hidden Acastus back there. Like he's just poking out around, making sure he can't be hit.
Yeah, I want
believe-
something big on the backline just in case of things dropping, so that I had something that could just deal with it.
I think that was holding one of your objectives as well.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's probably worth noting actually, in this game we decided to borrow from 11th edition and make terrain the objective markers. Wherever there's an objective, we have an objective marker on certain pieces of terrain, they're not all trees. For example, the one we're currently discussing
There's a plateau.
is a plateau. Yeah. In the opening stages, I've got my nice little tools in the corner there, we've got a little opening lead going on already.
Very obvious one.
What was the vibe of the mission this time?
So the actual mission this time was an ad hoc one that I made up just before the game because I suddenly realised that Knights probably won't do very well in any of the current missions I have available. So we still kept all the secondaries, but we went for basically a mission that basically takes the Carnage rule from Allegiance and scales it up a little bit. So the more you kill, the more you score.
And then I think for secondaries, I believe I had left and right flanks and killing 2 units.
You may well have done. I don't remember. Els, you are now completed turn 1, and you're now facing an army that you're not quite used to facing because I haven't brought out the Knights for a while.
No, not in a long time.
How did that change your approach in any way to the game, or did you kind of just go headlong into it as you always do?
I wish I could say it was the first option. No, I think the problem is, I think with me, when I get an idea in my head, I head slug it. It did make me very aware of the Titan that shot at my my medicators and such, and it did make me very aware of the Acastus as well. So I can say that with confidence. No, I don't think it really changed my mind all that much.
I mean, you mentioned the Acastus. Obviously, the Acastus managed to just somehow take out an entire unit on turn one.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that whatsoever.
None of us were, I don't think. Did that in any way shape your battle plan?
Yes, and also no. It did, because I was like, okay, gotta get rid of that, and it didn't, because I was a little bit scared. So
I mean, I feel like that's almost a slightly better way to kind of treat it, of being like, okay, it's killed this thing. I'm gonna be cautious. I feel like my brain immediately goes to, it killed all my things. It must die now.
yeah.
I'm going to point out, Els and John are both displaying very world eatery traits, yet somehow I'm the one doing world eaters. Let's move on into Battle Round 2. The battle begins to shift. As House Dracaryn maintains pressure across the front, the Night Lords strike from the shadows, deep striking into the Knight's backline and enforcing the engagement across multiple fronts. No longer contained, the fight begins to fracture, as both sides are drawn into close and brutal conflict. So, here we go. Look, we've got some interesting points of engagement. They're going to be all over the place. How do we feel that's looking so far? We've got a couple of deep strikes as well.
Mm.
I didn't enjoy the deep strikes.
I love deep strikes.
Oh, I did.
What was it more of El's incredible luck when it comes to deep strikes, and they all landed exactly where they were meant to land?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Els just doesn't fail deep strike apparently ever.
Nope. Or morale.
Oh no, you definitely fail morale.
Yep.
I will remind you of one of our first games where we both failed 2-up morales 6 times in a row.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's bad.
Yes!
That was both
That
of
is
us.
sad.
Do you know what? I had actually completely forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, that was bad.
But anyway, we got some interesting things to look at. So we're gonna dive into the first engagement, which is just off camera here. But I'm gonna preface this with it's gonna be an interesting one. There will be a little bit of a word from me just after it. So, Els, take it away.
The Acastus Knight tracks the bounding Cerastus as they crash through the dunes, its weapons already aligning before the charge can land. A blinding volley erupts, and one of the war engines is split clean in half, its reactor detonating in a violent bloom of fire and shrapnel.
Okay, and we are going to head straight onto the next stage because I like the pace. We've shot, we're charging in.
The surviving Cerastus slams into the Acastus with crushing force, ceramic grinding against adamantium as the two titans of war tear at one another at point-blank range. Blows land, armor buckles, but neither yields. The Acastus systems grinding back to life as the duel becomes a grinding stalemate.
So, I'm going to mention this so that we can get this out of the way, okay? These two knights engage on Battle Round 2, and they remain engaged until the end of Battle Round 5, because knights can't run away from each other, the Cerastus can only do 1 wound, and the Acastus heals.
Which it does every single time. It heals every single time until the last time I finally landed something again. So
it's literally a perpetual duel that never ends in this game. We are not... Basically, if you're watching this, assume that these two are just duking it out in the bottom hand corner of the page, doing literally nothing of interest.
There's that Cerastus that just has the chainsaw. It's just like, any minute now! Any minute! And I assume, because presumably the Acastus gets to melee back, but he's just like desperately trying to like lever the legs up to try and kick high enough to kick that.
The Cerastus wins every fight, but it can't do enough
of
damage.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a potential that this would not have been a continuous combat, but Eliza decided not to support the Acastus and just leave the Cerastus there punching it all game.
It ties up both of them?
Yes, perpetually. Yeah. I mean, in theory, Els actually had the better trade here, because the Cerastus only at 120 points, or 160 points, something like that. Versus a 230 point Acastus. Technically, the trade was very efficient for the Night Lords here.
Well, there was a tiny bit of strategy behind it, yeah.
I mean, you might, if you'd got them both in, there might have been a chance you might have killed it eventually, but you would have still taken you 3 entire combat phases.
Yeah, and I didn't really fancy tying up 2 of those Cerastus, so...
Actually, you did, because you charged with both.
Yeah, that was the original plan
Yeah.
before I blasted one off the board.
I may have forgotten about that. Never mind. Split second.
My advice here for anyone who plays Knights, in any description, right, don't charge Cerastus into an Acastus, because it's not going to go anywhere very fast for either of you.
Unless it's a... Oh, no, it's not referred to as a Cerastus, is it? The Lancer version.
It is a Cerastus pattern Knight, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that one, maybe?
Nah, same problem.
Okay.
Literally the same problem. Like, in order to convincingly kill one of these things in combat, you need at least 3 Cerastus pattern Knights, I think, to have a chance of killing it in 2 turns. And even then, you're not guaranteed.
Maybe don't. Maybe not. Unless you're happy just to lose it for the rest of the game.
Yeah, unless...
Well, yeah, there is that, yeah.
There could be an occasion where it's worth it, but I'd imagine there aren't many. But then, I suppose, you're shutting down the shooting. Let's move on to the rest of the combat, because this will literally never end.
Amid the chaos, Curze drives his Mastodon hard through the shifting lines, slipping past the looming Titan with terrifying precision. The colossal engine thunders into the Night back line, its passage scattered, dust and debris, as the Night Haunter carves open a new front in the battle.
Now, I have to say,
Yep.
this was a clever move. Can you figure out, John, what was happening here?
The Mastodons get to go where they wanted to go, as opposed to being stuck behind lines of drop pods, maybe?
Are you still salty about that?
Apparently so. Apparently so. These look like they're going to be in the back line of that their Warhound, which isn't going to get to shoot them.
Exactly, which is a little trap that you fell right into, I think, isn't it? Isn't that the case, Eliza? Because you did want to target them.
Yeah, I lined up pretty much everything in that. Everything I moved to that centre bit was lined up to deal with Mastodons.
And I saw that coming from a mile off.
Yeah, and then you sent them straight through. It's really annoying.
I'm so proud.
Hey, give me some credit. Half of this did not go my way by this point, so this is a win for me.
Very, very prudent, very clever move, I would say. Using positioning here rather than just raw strength, which is very good. How did the Knights and Titans all respond to this? Because they're going to shoot something.
Both Titans bring their full fury to bear, their weapons screaming across the battlefield as they tear into the Vindicators. In an instant, the armoured column is reduced to ruin, shattered hulls and burning wreckage marking where they once stood.
They did get absolutely destroyed.
Mullered.
But in fairness, took 2 entire Warhounds to take out 4 Vindicators.
Yeah, which is shots that weren't lined up elsewhere at other stuff, so I guess there is that, but still, ouch.
Like I said in episode 2, they are a great distraction.
And the thing is, once you'd moved those Mastodons past, one of those Titans, the target that I was lining up for, was gone anyway, and I think the other Titan I was going to target the Vindicators. So,
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
was
sure.
just doing the best with what I had.
I'm pretty sure one of them was intended to fire at them. Yeah. Which would be the one on the right-hand side, which is the Pyre of Judgment, and then the one on the left is the Scourge of Iron. But the Vindicators did actually get a shot off. We haven't included it in the script there, but they did get a shot off, and I think they did plink a wound off an armour during the tree line.
They tried their best. They
did. They got a shot off. It's better than they normally do. Speaking of the tree line,
In the shadow of the trees, Baron Kalo Van and his accompanying knight crash into their Night Lord's counterparts. Titanic blades and cannons trading blows in close range. The Dracaryn engines strike with brutal precision, tearing into armor and leaving their foes behind.
Yeah, this was an interesting combat. This was quite cool, like, to see, like, actually on the tabletop, because I really like it when, like, knights be knights in combat, because it's more or less like an even playing field. I think one of Eliza's knights, which probably was the Baron, I think that one definitely had like a little bit of a higher calf, but mostly it was sort of like an even kind of fight. So it was cool to watch. Wasn't cool to get a blade shoved in my knights' faces, but it's still, it's fine.
It's more of a spear.
It wasn't quite forever war. It was just like in the couple of turns that it should take.
Yeah.
Am I reading this correctly? That because of is it the reach that the lancers have, that one that isn't in base-to-base contact can still be targeted?
Yes, which I didn't know about until we started going to doing like the charging thing and stuff. And I was like, oh no, it's fine because you've not got that one. Oh, okay, yeah, fine.
I will probably stay as well, that obviously we probably would allow them to be in combat regardless, because obviously it's kind of the terrain that was getting in the way, that realistically the knight would have just walked over that anyway, and they were well within charge range.
I think I rolled ridiculously well for that charge.
You did roll ridiculously well.
Knight engagements they're not quick. They're quite slow and ponderous fights unless there's a particular scale difference. It's an interesting proposition, knight on knight, because you know what both sides are going to be tied down for a little while.
Yeah, they ain't going anywhere for a while.
That's kind of exactly what I wanted those knights to do straight out of the gate.
Well, they certainly achieved their goal. And you did have the slight advantage as well, because although in theory the two knight classes, they're both Sorcerer's Pans, they both have essentially the same statistics in combat. The one on the left-hand side in that image is a Baron, because it's part of the Barony Guard Lance, who have the extra calf and an extra wound as well. At least in one of those fights, you've got a slight edge over the other ones.
I hadn't quite realised that at the beginning, which was a bit sad.
It is what it is. Right, let's move on to the next section.
Night Lord's dreadnoughts descend into the rear line, their weapons hammering into the pyre of Judgment's defences. Void shields collapse under sustained fire, and for the first time, its armour is breached. A small wound, but a dangerous one.
Potentially the Achilles heel.
I see where you put that blast marker on there.
It's intentional.
So these the las cannon ones, I presume?
No, these are the carries.
No, these are the carries assault cannon ones, yeah.
I know, the carries are good.
I'm shaken to my core.
And they did exactly what I wanted them to do, which was to drop, come out, take an objective, and shoot a Titan right where the sun shines, or doesn't shine, or whatever the phrase is.
I mean, if you shoot it too much, the sun does shine out of there.
Yeah.
Assessment.
So this was a nice moment for me, because this was something that went right. This was exactly what I wanted it to do, which was wonderful. Kiri's assault cannon's so good, apparently.
I didn't enjoy this.
No, I distinctly remember dropping them in your backline, and you just went, "Oh, don't like that."
Oh no!
Gotta love drop pods. Gotta love them. We don't have any idea what that's like, do we, John? Someone on our team definitely doesn't. Right, let's move on to the next one.
The knights retaliate with disciplined fury, their guns cutting down a predator formation in a storm of fire. Yet even as one threat is erased, others slip through, the battlefield growing harder to contain.
Coordinated firepower doing their thing. It's a good. I don't know whether was this intentional, Eliza? Were you specifically targeting the units that were most threatening to the knights, or was it just targets of opportunity?
I was targeting, I wanted to bring down the sort of big things before they had the chance to do much. The sort of target priority. Obviously, if I could have taken down the mastodons earlier, I would have. I think the predators were quite an intentional target.
Definitely a good use of solid focus fire there, which is actually a very good tactic, I would say, in the game.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that, to be honest. This is just another moment of pain for me. Eliza definitely had it in for my tanks during this game. Which
you have so many of them.
Why not? You kind of have to against you, because your entire army is tanks almost.
Yeah, that is true. But it was, I don't know, it was one of those, like, bitter moments, because at the start of the game, Eliza was just like, oh, look at all your tags, you've got so many. I was like, I know. And then she started killing them like it's just nothing, so...
Well, let's go and have a look at what was happening with some more tanks, shall we?
In the tree line, Kratos' tanks unleash a punishing barrage into the advancing knights. One of the armigers is caught in the storm, its frame torn apart in a violent detonation as the Night Lords claw back the ground.
So, a successful knight taken down. So we've had a couple of engine kills so far,
A couple, yeah.
which might not sound like a
Taking
lot,
away those armatures.
but in the context of the game, obviously, there are only so many knights on the table compared to how many tanks you have. So,
Yeah.
I would say the rate of attrition is probably about right at this stage.
At this stage, yeah, I think. I definitely think that the Kratos, out of all of my tanks, are probably my favourite, because they're the most consistent ones. Like, they can pack a punch and they can take a punch as well. I enjoy using them, and I enjoy using them to do some damage against Eliza.
I think it was at this point that I had the points denial moment, wasn't it?
I think it might have been, yeah, it rings a bell.
Yeah. 'Cause I think I was debating targeting the Kratos with the Titan instead of the Vindicators, but I realised that for one of your secondaries you had to be wholly within the 8 inches of one of the flanks, and if I kept those Kratos alive, you would have only scored half points for that.
Yeah, didn't quite catch on to that was what you were doing until pretty much the last second. So, yeah.
It was far too late by the time we realised what was happening. Tactical targeting, I like it. So let's have a look at the state of the board at the end of the round. We're starting to concentrate a little bit more now. I'm seeing some trading of places now. We've got knights up on the other side of the table, and we've got Night Lords charging in the other direction. So we've got kind of crossing paths a little bit here.
It was one of those things where I was like, okay, I've got to try and pull this out of the bag a little bit more now. I felt like I was completely like on the losing side, so I was trying to, like, at this point in my head, I'm like, okay, so what can I do to try and corral back a little bit?
I'm going to call out a decision here that you made, Eliza, which I believe I did call you out on at the end of the round as well.
Oh yeah.
So if we look in the bottom right-hand corner of our current image, we have a very lovely Acastus Knight sat there behind a rock. Now this is after I suggested at the beginning of the round that maybe you move it up to the rock and poke out slightly so you could use the rock as cover and still shoot. You took that as, let's go hide behind the cover and not shoot at all.
I may have forgotten that bit of advice at the start.
Which is a shame,
Did
considering
you
how...
just forget about the Acastus full stop?
It's a shame, because we saw how much damage the Acastus did in turn 1. We basically just lost an entire turn of Acastus action. I mean, technically there was some going on, but it doesn't really count.
Forever.
No, not really. I don't think that counts for anything, no.
But hey-ho, it is what it is. I just thought I'd point that one out.
I'm excited for the moment where you unveil that this is an elaborate ruse, and actually there's this. You said we're not going to mention it again, and actually at the end it's suddenly all revealed that there was this super important thing it did right at the very end of the game.
I mean, I wish I could say that might happen, but
I don't know. It's going to be a revelation for me. I'd say I'm waiting with bated breath, but I fear I might suffocate if I do that.
yeah, you probably would.
Please don't hold it back.
One thing I'm gonna ask at the end of the round from the two players of the game is that obviously some stuff is starting to go on. There's some charges happening. There's definitely some, shall we say, lining up of a big clash for round 3. Were you finding the game starting to get a little bit chaotic at this point, or not?
I mean, I don't know what it was like for Eliza, but I was struggling to keep up, man. There was so much going on in all sorts of different places. Like, you've got the knights in the forest, and then you've got Curze on round by the plateau, and then you've got the dreadnoughts in the top corner, And in my brain, I'm just like, I was losing so many units by each turn that I was just like, trying to split my focus was almost like a kind of like a dance.
I think for me, a lot of what I was doing was kind of going plan. Definitely the Mastodons slipping by was, I'd say like, I think roughly 70% was going plan, and then the Mastodons slipping by was like a huge 30%.
You were a bit worried that might be a game swinging level of oops. It's a fair point. There is a Primarch in there. Do know that the Primarchs do stuff in this game. Well,
they do stuff.
Based on the rules I've written, anyway.
Also, I wasn't aware of, like, because obviously I've not played against the Mastodons before, so I am actually not sure what they are capable of, and they're simply behind a lot of my units.
If it makes you feel any better, we've never really seen them do much.
Yeah.
But this game was a changer for that. They did do stuff. Speaking of doing stuff, shall we actually have a look at what happened in round 3? Because round 3, we start to get a little bit interesting. Let's go into round 3. The battle reaches its crescendo. What began as a contest of positioning now erupts into brutal, close-range violence. Knights and Knight Lords collide across the field in a series of decisive engagements. For the first time, the engines of House Dracaryn begin to falter, and the Knight Lords strike back with lethal intent.
That is quite the number of events that happened in this round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a biggie.
I had to cut many. This was a big round.
Yeah, a lot happened.
In terms of like the game as well, like when these two were filming, the first 2 rounds went really quick. We thought, oh, we're doing really well, we're really getting somewhere here, and we might be able to finish the whole game very comfortably. Then this round happened.
It definitely felt a little bit like that, yeah. Towards the end, anyway. It was like, oh, we're done, yeah.
The slog of round 3.
Yes, that old chestnut.
So, let's see what chaos happens in round 3.
In the tangled woods, the Sarastus duel reaches its peak. Baron Kalorvan's knight crashing down with crushing force, crippling one of the Night Lord's engines. The second staggers, armour torn open, yet still fights on, landing desperate blows in return.
So, one knight has been brought down already by the Baron and his second. One still stands.
Yep, this, that hurt a little bit, not gonna lie. However, you were. However, I did sort of see it coming, because the last time I played against these, which admittedly was a while now, that Baron, so strong. Yeah, definitely not unprecedented, but annoying nonetheless. So well done, Eliza, on that one, I will say.
I think this game has definitely reinforced the Lancers as my favourite type of knight.
That's
They
fair.
already were for aesthetic in general, but like they're just fun.
Very cool. But I still stand by, ironically, the ones that are currently being destroyed, that the Cascade is my favourite. Just because there's a little bit of flexibility, because it's got a gun, whereas the Lancer doesn't.
But the Lancer is very fun.
But the Lancer is unbiasedly the coolest. That is the battle in the woods. Let's move on to the next section.
On the southern flank, Dracaryn armigers surge forward, their weapons roaring at close range, tearing 2 Dracaryn tanks apart, leaving their burning hulls scattered across the sand.
So, you were saying about the curse of the plasma?
There we go!
You got what you wanted. Are you happy now?
Did they manage to get a shot off?
Are they
Before they
Overwatch
died?
to no effect? Yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch no effect is yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, my Sakarans suffered this
Actually,
turn.
weren't those... Was it the plasma Sakarans that I got the ridiculous, like, las cannon shot off with?
Yes, John. Talk about being salty from the previous game. I had my revenge, it's fine. Okay, moving swiftly on to more chaotic action.
The Night Lancers thunder in the Night Lord's infantry, their impact catastrophic. Marines crushed beneath their charge, a commander cut down in the chaos. Armigers swarm in behind them, finishing the survivors in a storm of fire and steel.
So I believe this was the moment when Eliza took that objective off me.
Not quite.
God, that. So was that like a pincer move of like Cerastus on one side, Armigers on the other, and just squeezing in?
Yeah, basically.
It was a very, very cool shot.
I have no words. There are no words except hey.
My words are cool. That's a cool image.
This is the kind of moment you want to see in these kind of games.
Yeah, admittedly, it is one of those ones. Yeah.
Very cinematic.
It hurts for you. We know that. We know it hurts for you. We get that.
You have no idea.
As Night Lord's infantry are sandwiched between knights, further into the battle.
Curze and his Knight Raptors erupt from the Mastodon in a sudden strike, only to slam directly into a wall of Castora's knights. Thunderstrike gauntlets swing with brutal force, smashing the assault apart. The Night Lords are driven back, and even the Night Haunter is wounded in the exchange. Remember when I said that I had this thing about making sure that when I had Konrad on the table, that he didn't die? This was the moment when I was like, should have left him in there. Should have just sent the rest of them out, and should have just left him in there by himself, because this was the beginning of the end.
I know he's a Primarch, but those are knights.
Yes, constant charge.
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
I think you might have overestimated Conrad's capability of fighting a knight. There's a handful of Primarchs that could probably do it. Curze probably isn't one of them.
To turn something that Konrad Curze once heard, it is also a knight.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
So the poor
It's not
knight
just a cannon.
the poor knight raptors got absolutely eviscerated in this engagement as well. Infantry killing infantry, but not very good at taking out
You
knights.
just know that like as they're about to get out, they're just like, so what are we charging? Oh, the knight. Are you sure? You sure we're charging the... Well, Conrad started running, and he will do terrible things to us if we don't also start running as well.
The things that he'll do to them, like, compared to what the knight would. It's like going for a tea party compared to what he does. So, you know, it's either get your face minced or get your face minced. So, you know.
The Primarch has engaged, but a little bit of a dubious engagement, but we'll see. You'll never know, it might turn. However, elsewhere...
From behind the plateau, the Acastus emerges just long enough to fire. Its weapons flashing as it cuts down two Predator tanks in rapid succession before slipping back into cover.
So, you know what I said about poking your head out?
I did it this time.
You listened to the advice the second time, and it wiped out more predators. In fact, by this stage, I believe all the predators are now removed.
Yes. I don't know what else to say other than hey. Yeah, Eliza took one look at my tanks and went, "Ooh, lunch."
The one thing I've learned is that I definitely want to try the Acastus out again, but I know what's going to happen as soon as I do.
Only ones!
With rerolls.
With rerolls. We've seen it. We have seen it many times.
Yes, we have.
Have you tried to re-roll a 1 and then it become a 1 again?
It's more likely than you think.
Let's move on.
The Mastodons answer with overwhelming firepower, their guns hammering into a Questoris knight and tearing it apart in a violent detonation.
They did something!
They did the thing! They shot
did the thing.
something! How did it feel firing the melter array?
Oh, so good. Yeah, that's a nice gun. I like that gun a lot. Me and the melter array, we're good buds. Getting rid of that Castoris was quite important, if I remember rightly, because I think it was nearby an objective.
Yeah, it was the one still on that objective in the background.
Yeah, so, and obviously the dreadnoughts were there, so I wanted to make sure that they would keep that one. Eliminated Questoris.
It is one of the battle cannon Questoris as well, which has the best range, basically, of all of the knights on the table. Quite handy to get rid of that one, because it even outranges the Acastus.
And it turns out that the Mastodons aren't just good for carrying around big dudes in armour. They can shoot stuff, and they can blow up a knight, which was a nice revelation. So I think in future games, I'm going to try and prioritise them a little bit more.
I mean, they are covered in guns.
I was going to say, if you're only just making that revelation...
It's a shame that half those guns can't damage knights.
Don't bully me, John. Jesus. So mean. No, it's fine. I deserve it, honestly. Just wait.
So, with the Mastodons finally making a debut with their Melter Array, first time we've ever seen it, and first time on the channel, what else happened?
Nearby, a second Castorus lance turns its gun on the remnants of the Night Lord's infantry, obliterating those locked in combat and clearing the field with ruthless efficiency.
So these are the same guys that just got sandwiched between the Cerastus and the Armigers, and they've now just been hit with an entire salvo from some Questoris knights.
Oh, they're already dead!
My infantry in this game, man. Oh.
That was where I took that objective, I believe.
Again, no, because the infantry still outcast you on that objective currently, I think. Oh, no, you might have done this.
My one victory.
They had the Lances there, and then they had the...
I think you've got 2 bases of infantry, that's 10 points. 3 Armigers is 9, plus the 2 Cerastus is 11. Oh yeah, so you would have just taken it, yeah.
I celebrated too soon.
But I'll point out on the main shot at the end, but that fight all takes place between 2 big plateaus, so it's almost like a ravine, and you can just imagine the Night Lords just all over that ravine at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't mean all over as in occupying. I mean literally all over. Okay, moving on to the next section.
In the Dracaryn rear, Armigers descend upon the deep striking Terminators, their fire tearing through the elite warriors and leaving only scattered survivors.
I love those Armigers.
The Armigers are so good, especially against infantry. Like, you give those Armigers infantry and they're having a good day.
I honestly, by the end of this game, I was like, maybe I should just play this army instead. The whole deep striking Terminators, my whole idea was to try and put more on where the objective was, so that I could hold it for a little bit longer, because I know that they're worth a little bit more. Didn't go to plan at all, did it? So,
Yeah, I mean, they might be mighty Terminators, but those are big guns.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, autocannons into Terminators. Big autocannon. I mean, those are big guns.
Squished under a big boot. Yeah.
Okay, so with the back line being secured, there's a big event that occurs. So at the moment, it's looking quite poor for the Night Lords. However, things start to change it just a little bit.
Across the battlefield, the Night Lords bring everything to bear on the pyre of judgment. Las cannons, heavy weapons, and Kratos battle tanks hammering it into its failing defences. Void shields collapse, armour erupts, and with a final catastrophic detonation, the God Engine falls. Engine kill confirmed.
I killed a Titan, baby! You have no idea the joy that I felt or feel any time a Titan dies in my presence. It's like Midas giving out gold.
I don't know where you were going with that.
The point is that I needed this, and at this point, I genuinely was just like, let's go. I was so unbelievably happy, took one look at Eliza's face, and then immediately went, I'm so sorry.
It's always fun when a Titan explodes, because then there's a Titan on the field for the rest of the game, just in pieces.
I do like using the Titans as terrain, which is why I do magnetize them at the waist and all the other bits and pieces as well. It's a bit extravagant sometimes, but yeah, I can make terrain out of them. Let's have a look at the actual battlefield as it stands. Looking a little bit barer now, isn't it? I think things are starting to die.
There's a few more gaps in it.
Yeah. So as we can kind of see, there's some carnage going on. How do we feel the actual battle is going from both players at this stage of the game? Because there's been significant casualties now on both sides. Again, I would say it's still relatively even in terms of casualties, but I would say the Knights are probably edging out at this point in terms of the score as well.
Yeah, I think I managed to get a little bit of a boost, if I am correct.
Yeah, so I think you started taking over or had more control of objectives, I think.
Yeah, that
so...
kind of place of you took, because you also have the dreadnoughts there as well.
Yeah.
Points-wise, it's still quite narrow, but I think in terms of units left on the table, the Knights are slightly edging out.
Yeah, because I don't actually think at this point I had cleared a unit apart from, obviously, the Titan. I don't think I cleared a complete unit. I'd obviously plinked, things off.
Yeah,
but
I think the Titan was your first unit.
Full unit, yeah. But to be honest, I mean, by this point, I was feeling quite confident that things were looking up. I think that the killing the Titan was a bit of an ego boost because I was feeling a tiny bit deflated and sort of just like, oh my god, all of the decisions I'm making are bad and rah, rah. So yeah, that's definitely where I stood.
It was definitely a swing point as well because I had that Titan positioned to take out the dreadnoughts in the back line, and you managed to take it out before I got a chance to fire it.
Yeah, I think I had initiative on this turn, so I think that definitely played a big part in me getting this boost.
It didn't feel lost, but I felt more worried.
We've still got a relatively even game. We're going to go into round 4 now. Now, I'm gonna point out for the audience as well that during round 4, we realised we were running out of time. Eliza had to return home. It was getting late. So, you decided to set yourself the challenge of completing the entirety of round 4 in under an hour.
And we did.
And you did, actually, get the entire round 4 done in under an hour, which was very impressive. So,
if I remember rightly, I think it was about 45 minutes, yeah.
Let's see what happens when we rapid fire an entire battle round. The battle descends into a war of attrition. With the Titan gone, neither side holds clear dominance. The Knights striking with disciplined fury, while the Knight Lords answer with relentless aggression. Across the battlefield, war engines burn, and every gain is paid for in blood and steel. Again, we got lots going on in this round, and that is impressive how much actually happened, considering how little time you had to do it in.
We did, to be honest. We both were sort of just like, no, it's fine. We can do this. It'd be fine. And then slowly descended into madness the longer we went on.
It was like those chess games where they have the ticker.
You're just slamming the clock down. And be like, go.
And I had to run around trying to take photos as they were constantly like, this is shooting this. I'm like, oh, shit.
whilst I also will also point out that half of my dice rolls I had to do with one hand because I was holding our baby as well, who just was not being cooperative whatsoever. So I'm like, I have a child here, and I'm rolling dice, and it was chaos. It was absolute chaos.
The things we do for content. Let's zoom in, and let's see if we can rapid fire some of these rounds.
In the ravine, Dracaryn armigers re-engage the remaining Night Lord's infantry, their weapons tearing through the survivors and leaving the ground littered with broken bodies and shattered armour. There were 2 bases left on there, and they got squished.
I had every faith in them.
Yeah, no matter how good a super soldier is, when you're up against, what's that going to be, a 20-foot walking engine of death? Yeah, you got no chance. Their chainsaws are the size of these guys. They're not going to live. I believe there's some more armiger action.
Elsewhere, more armigers surge forward, pressing their advantage. Their chain blades roaring as they finish off the remaining Dracaryn tanks, reducing them to burning memory.
This didn't surprise me. whatsoever. I think Eliza had initiative as well, which didn't entirely help. But I think they'd already been pinned down from before, so I think you just pushed up and charged into them.
It was an impressive, but not unexpected. However, we're going to go back to the north, where there is still more going on in the woodlands.
In the woods, the long-running duel finally ends. Baron Kalen Varn driving his knight forward with crushing force, striking down the castigator and leaving its broken frame collapsed among the trees.
Yep, the Baron did it.
Just
Fully
carved.
impaled. That tree line. That tree line is like that. You don't want to go there.
It does seem to be where everything goes to die.
It's not a fun time. It's not a fun time.
It depends if you're the one dying or the one doing a killing, I suppose. I had fun in the tree line last game too. Don't know what the problem is.
It's everyone else who keeps complaining about it. I don't know what they're complaining about.
I mean, there's a lot of dead knights in that tree line, I can tell you that for
There's
sure.
so many dead knights in there.
There's probably more dead knights than trees at this point.
Just turn it into like a play area.
Play area.
Bits of night.
Just put the little armigers in there. Go play. Oh dear. The knight conflict has come to a conclusion in round 4. How's Curze doing?
Curze and his Night Raptors continue their savage assault. This time managing to drag down a Christoris Knight in a violent crash. But the cost is severe. The Night Haunter is struck again, his armour torn open, his form now visibly failing.
So Curze is now down to 1 wound. He's been beaten savagely by the knights and he's lost most of his raptors.
I wanted to shoot myself.
That wouldn't have helped the situation.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think Curze needed more things being shot at him.
It was one of those moments in life where you just go, how did I end up here? What's going on? You have to wait and see what happens.
It's an ongoing engagement, but Curze is kind of holding his own. Another knight has fallen. That's another big chunk of the Dracaryn army taken out. You know,
That is true.
each of these knights that goes down is a significant portion. It's quite good in that respect. Should we go and have a look at what the other Titan's up to?
The Scourge of Iron answers with devastating force, its weapons lashing out to destroy 2 Kratos tanks in quick succession, their hulls torn apart in explosive bursts of fire.
The Warhounds are being very consistent in this game. They're killing stuff, which doesn't always happen, I've found, with knights.
Quite upsetting to lose 2 Kratos as well, because at this point, where firepower is concerned, I do not have a lot left. And I value the Kratos' guns a lot. So this was another blow, to be honest. So well done, Eliza.
Especially with a warhound just roaming the battlefield, kind of free reign at this stage.
Yeah, you are starting to lose the weapons you need now to start dealing with these things. That is definitely a problem. Speaking of problems,
The Acastus and supporting Questoris combine their firepower, their shots hammering into the land raiders, tearing through armour and detonating transports, killing many of the warriors within. Oh no! Were they still full of people?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you put your rockets back into them.
No!
No, I think they were. I don't think they were missiles. I think they were just normal infantry.
I can confirm that they were tacticals. The missile troops are further up the table.
Trust me, if my missiles were in there, I would have been. The pain just would have been too much, and I just would have got a timeout. This was another blow to my ego because I like my land raiders because my land raiders have las cannons, and las cannons are useful. So this was another one of those things where I was just like, oh no, what happens now? I had one land raider left now, because I'd only brought 4 originally. I didn't bring the whole 6, and yeah, not great. Didn't enjoy that.
It's a very good use of how the knight should work as well. You know, concentrate in fire and taking out targets that are high priority. So, I've got to congratulate Eliza for very well used knight army here. It's been very good. Let's see what else is going on.
Hidden within the dense terrain, a Night Lord's missile team finds its mark. A lone armiger caught in the open is struck and destroyed in a precise well-placed volley.
There's your missiles.
Missiles take out an injured armager. That's a win. I don't care if it's a small win. It's still a win.
Win is a win.
Yeah, it's definitely a win, especially as that armager is the one of the shooty ones, which is very nasty. We eventually will have to get over the fact that they were shit.
Yes, there is a new standard set for them.
But today is not that day.
No. So yes, no. A lucky shot from some missiles there, which is very cool. Further on, though,
In the centre, the Saurus Knights bring their guns to bear on advancing Dracaryn dreadnoughts, blasting them apart before they can close the distance.
Dreadnoughts for
Yeah.
Knights kind of only goes one way, really.
This was one of those things where I think I placed them improperly, so it made them an easy target.
Okay, now it looks like I believe they were kind of positioned ready to, try and help deal with the other Titan, but they didn't quite get the opportunity.
This might have been one of those things where initiative was involved. If I had initiative, then it might have been a different story.
The final focus for this round.
Seizing the moment, Kratos tanks unleash a concentrated barrage into the rear of a knight locked in combat with Curze. The shots punching through its armour and bringing the war engine crashing down.
Kratos saved their Primarch.
They did. So, was quite happy that this happened, obviously, because I'd lost the other two Kratos. Any chance at bringing down anything at this point was nice, because obviously I'd lost a lot in comparison to Eliza.
Yeah, so another big kill in reality, another big chunk out of the Knight army, which also coincidentally also frees up the Night Haunter as well, which could potentially be quite useful in the final round.
Yeah, getting Curze out and around. One might argue one-sided melee fight there.
That freed him up, so that is the end of Battle Round 5. And as I say, this was all done in less than an hour, about 45 minutes, as Sel said, which is quite impressive.
Absolutely wild. That is so much for 45 minutes.
I mean,
Impressive that you got it all on camera as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I mean, we didn't really rush either. It was kind of just very.
You were rushing.
Yeah, we were definitely rushing.
It was kind of methodical, though, so I don't know.
I think the way we'd lined it up, we kind of both already knew where everything was going into anyway. So it didn't feel like rushing, but it definitely was rushing.
When you're in that kind of situation where you go, there's only really one way that everything can go here, you just got to go for it then.
However, I will say, very, very well done. As you can see, in terms of scoring, the Knights are very much in the lead at this point. And
big time, yeah.
as we've already seen on the battlefield, there's quite a set of heavy losses. Now, as the Night Lords player, do you think at this point there was any chance of victory?
Not a single molecule.
That's not the confidence we want to hear.
But I genuinely was just like, I said to Jamie, I was just like, is there any chance? And Jamie was obviously like, well, let's play it through anyway, just see what happens. But I think it's like Jamie said earlier, I was running out of firepower. I was running out of things that could do any sort of damage. And then I think that kind of forfeited my chance at winning.
Yes and no. There definitely was a chance with the right secondary pulls and the right manoeuvres. You could have potentially evened it out. I mean, the scores definitely aren't in your favour at this point, but they might have been a chance. But there is also the kill tally as well that could have pushed it the other way. So it means you had you would have had to achieve a fair amount, I think. But nevertheless, we did conclude and we did go into a battle round 5 just to see what would happen.
There's a chance.
And there's a chance. Something could happen, could go beneficial. Should we find out if it did? The battle reaches its final moments. What remains of the Night Lord's assault begins to falter. Their momentum spent, their forces scattered, and broken. House Dracaryn advances without hesitation and moves to bring the conflict to a decisive end. So, not many points really to consider here. We've got a couple of little points of interest that we'll have a look at that kind of were quite basically a couple of cool moments. There's some scoring things that go on elsewhere, but that's not quite so cinematic, so we're not going to concentrate on that. I will spoil ahead of time that I was taking over the Dracaryn army at this point to round off the game, and you had to go home.
To my peril.
In this final round, I was essentially able to max out the secondaries that I drew, and also deny all of L's. Because we literally drew polar opposites. Mine, if I achieved them, cancelled yours, and if you did yours, they would cancel mine. I was able to engineer it in my favour.
Yeah. I told you it got worse, John. I told you.
I was going to say, this is kicking you when you're down, isn't it?
So, speaking of kicking when it's down.
Breaking through the tree line, Baron Kalor Varn drives his knight into the rear of the remaining Kratos tanks. The charge, devastating. The war machines are torn apart with ease, their hulls collapsing under the sudden, overwhelming assault. And should I tell you why this happened, John? This happened because I decided to drive out of cover nearer where the Baron could reach me, and I don't know why. It was such a stupid decision. I don't know what I was thinking, but I should not have done that, because I might have actually been able to use them before they got torn apart. But there we go.
They do look like they're just in prime position to be charged.
It's a shame because you could have retained control of that objective had you not basically fed them to the knights.
They basically just became Baron Chow at that point.
But we won't linger too long on that because there's more.
On the southern flank, the Knight Lancers crash into the last of the Night Lord's armatures. One is cut down in the initial clash, the other locked in place as Dracaryn armatures plan past them, securing ground and tightening control of the battlefield.
So essentially, a bit further behind, I needed to get some armatures into the Night Lord deployment zone. The Night Lords had a couple of armatures there that could have stopped me, so I just charged, because I rolled and got initiative, of course. So I just charged the Lancers straight into them, body blocked them essentially. I didn't care about killing them, they just had to keep them down so that the armatures could go and score and basically give me points and deny Els any chance of scoring. It came down to initiative almost, because if that hadn't happened, it could have been quite different.
Yeah, Jamie definitely wasn't pulling any punches when it came to this turn. So.
No niceties here. You're going to learn the hard way.
I mean, I was giving you both advice throughout your game.
Yeah, and then, all of a sudden it was me versus you, and suddenly marriage doesn't mean anything anymore.
Blame Eliza for going home. I know I'm not allowed to play anymore, but it's not my fault if I've got to take over.
That's the only time you're allowed to play now, is when you take over somebody else's army.
So, continuing on, more carnage.
The Acastus and Scourge of Iron combine their firepower, their weapons hammering into the Mastodons. One of the massive war engines is struck repeatedly, its armour failing before it collapses into burning ruin. Yeah,
I was able to get the two massive war engines to basically hit the Mastodons from either side and take them out.
As you said, focus fire is a winning combo there, and had the at that stage had the Mastodon actually taken any hits, or was it
one of them? I think they had a couple of void shields left, and one of them was mostly dead. I think, but it was a weakened target, but still quite a tough target anyway.
Yeah, still chewing through void shields and armor and everything else, and just
But
just goes up in smoke.
Between a Warhound and a Acastus, it's not that much of an ask.
As we said earlier, they're very similar units in terms of size.
But I don't like it when a Mastodon goes down. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, but speaking of heartbreaking, darling, that wasn't the biggest heartbreak, was it? Because following the death of the Mastodons,
amid the wreckage, Konrad Curze emerges, wounded but still fighting. The Custoris Knights bring their battle cannons to bear. The shots land. And in a final, thunderous impact, the Night Haunter is struck down, his form lost beneath the shattered remains of the battlefield.
The Primarch has fallen.
I love how Eliza says, "Oh dear," like, just, yeah. That's pretty much the extent that I felt. That whole thing that I said about keeping him alive when he's on the tabletop flashed before my eyes, and I was just like,
No.
Oh. I was just gobsmacked. I deflated, and I was just like, is this thing over yet? So yeah, it was over. It was, but that was really special. So
It was at that moment they knew it was over.
I mean, it genuinely was over because I had nothing left. Like, I think I had maybe one armature and some stuff.
We can have a look at the actual battlefield and see. We can play Pick Out the Night Lord.
I hate you.
Oh, lovely. Image enhance.
So there's not many Night Lords left on the table. There's a couple of infantry just off camera there on the left hand side, and there's the Forever War at the bottom there.
Yeah.
Some say they're still fighting to this day.
And there's a cheeky Land Raider I can see there, just over there.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm afraid this did not go quite your way, I'm afraid. But in my defence, Eliza had already set it up. I just put it in the hole, so to speak. That was meant to be a golfing reference. I just realised who I'm talking to.
I was really trying, I'll be honest. I was like, I gotta, and I just what you can hear is just Elle giggling.
I'm good. Okay, I'm good.
From an outsider's perspective, John, how do you think the players did over?
I mean, this is gonna sound like, Elle, at least I know that I'm not alone. Like, we could, you know, there's sympathy in here. I have great sympathy for. I know what it's like to have those moments where you're like, oh god, I have really fucked up from the very beginning here.
Listen, like, I thought because I was playing against somebody that wasn't Jamie that I was in with a chance. So I went into this head first, shoot first, ask questions later kind of vibe, and ultimately, that was probably what kicked me in the teeth, to be honest.
I was going to say, I think that might have been your downfall moment, much like mine is overcommitment.
I think it was over during that first sort of movement phase. I think putting the Vindicators in perfect line of sight of a big red thing wasn't a great idea. I wish we'd had the conversation before that about splitting the Vindicators up, because I might have been in with a chance then of doing something with them. Was not a fun time, but I did have a fun time at the same time. It was one of those weird convoluted things.
I'm very. I must say, I'm very impressed from like seeing how this went. How well a almost knight only army fared.
It's very impressive what they can do.
It's a fun playstyle that I've dealt with quite nicely as well.
Having seen how you played that game as well, I'd be interested to try them in some of my more action-focused missions to see how they fare. Because I was a little bit concerned that the lack of units, basically, and having to wait until the end of a round to actually score points might hinder you too much. But it could be interesting to try Knights out in some of these other ones and just see how they fare in those missions. I definitely can't see a Titan army doing very well, but you don't send a Titan army in an objective-based war.
Yeah,
unless you're going to guarantee you're going to get rid of everything that could take an objective.
I suppose that is how Titans would respond to that, I guess.
I think that's what I should have done. I think I should have done the whole thing of play for objectives rather than to play to kill.
That's exactly what you should have done against knights.
I didn't take all of my infantry, but I did take all of my tanks, save for, I think, like maybe 2 land raiders, if you can even call them a tank. So I definitely, looking back on it, 2020 hindsight is like a terrible thing, right? And I think I definitely should have done that, because I think even if everything had died, even if Eliza had managed to kill everything, including Curze, then I think that I might have been in with a chance, points-wise. I guess we'll never know.
I just think you and John just need to stop playing any other army that isn't World Eaters.
Just play World Eaters.
I mean, sure. if Jamie can get enough like World Eaters in his army, then I'll give it a go.
Because, I mean, we didn't mention, but you did also commit a unit of tanks to a charge, I seem to remember.
Did you do that again?
Yeah.
I must have missed that. I must have been writing.
I think it's because...
I mean, in my defense, I've never committed.
I think the because I had initiative, the arbiters charged in beforehand, so they didn't get to do that charge. It was definitely declared.
Oh, yeah.
In my defense, I've not tried to charge with tanks yet.
Oh, I don't know how many times I've said don't give tanks the charge order. It's very rare that will actually be a good idea.
This was not my finest hour by a long stretch.
But you've learned, right?
Yes, but also no.
The delay. The absolute poignancy of that delay.
I can 100% unequivocally say that I am splitting the Vindicators up into 2 groups. That's all I'm going to say.
That is the correct answer.
That is probably...
If nothing else, that is the most important lesson to learn.
Because they could have done so much more. So much more.
Or just acted as 2 distractions.
All that, sure.
Well, it was a very entertaining game. I again want to congratulate Eliza on a very well played knight rendition there. I was very impressed.
I think that is a playstyle I very much enjoy and go with. So I think I'm considering making a knight's army for myself.
I think you should. You're very good at playing them. You know how to handle them well. And I think with knights, that's a good thing. That's a good skill because they can be quite hard to navigate. So
maybe I'll be allowed to play the game against.
Maybe. I feel like knights are very much that, almost like to use a. I appreciate that there are knights in 40k, but I was going to say knights in this almost feel like they're like the custodies of of legions, where it's like you don't get many, but what you get are real good.
Yeah. I think you're probably right on the money there. They are the hyper elite army of the game that can hit very hard with very little.
I wouldn't mind playing them myself at some point, just to make myself feel a little bit better about this experience.
You keep saying that, but I have to keep pointing out you have knights.
I do, but for some reason they're angry red and they punch stuff hard. So I want some of that.
So you just want more knights?
I think I might want some more knights in my army, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of knights on this channel eventually, isn't there? I mean, I want to add more to mine, let's be honest.
Yeah, we know you do.
But first, I've got other armies. With all that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire us over to the epilogue for the story before we close out the rest of the episode. So let's go and have a look at how the story ends.
Move! Recover the wounded and leave the dead! We don't have time! The knights are still advancing. smoke. If we stay here, we die here. Get the Primarch clear of the wreckage. Now! Careful! Even broken, he'd tear your arms off of his handling him. The assault has failed. The line still stands, but this war is far from over. March traffic is flooding in from distant districts. Our splinter force has reached the city outskirts. They're through the outer defenses. The fighting has already begun in the ruins. Let the knights celebrate their victory here in the sands. They've stopped us. By the time they realize the truth, the city will already be burning.
So, that's all for today. However, please do comment down below, what do you believe was the turning point of this battle? And while you're down there, don't forget to check that you have liked and subscribed to the channel. We very much appreciate it. And do also remember that we are on various social media, which you can come and join us on, check out, and obviously send us any images of your own hobby, which we can then feature on an upcoming episode of Tankard Talk, which, as of recording this, is only a few weeks away from being us recording another episode. So you will see that by the time this comes out, probably a couple of weeks' time. So get on that, and hopefully we'll be able to actually showcase some of your stuff rather than ours. So thank you all for joining us today for this episode, and we very much hope to see you next time in the Mead Hall. Goodbye for now.
Bye.
Goodbye.